Money isn't just about math. It's about behavior, emotions, and mindset. Welcome to today's video where we break down The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, a book that reveals timeless lessons on wealth, greed, and happiness. If you want to master your financial future, stay with us till the end. Chapter number 1. Why people think about money differently. Let's begin with one of the most important and eye-opening ideas in the book. People do crazy things with money, but no one's crazy. At first, this sounds like a contradiction. How can someone do something crazy, yet not be crazy? Here's what Morgan Housel means. Every person's relationship with money is shaped by their unique life experiences. It's not just about numbers or logic. It's about what you've lived through, what you've seen, what you've feared, and what you've hoped for. Imagine this. One person grew up in poverty. They saw their parents struggle every day, worried about every rupee, every dollar. So when they finally start earning, they become extremely cautious, always saving, afraid to spend. Now imagine someone else. They watched their parents invest in stocks during a booming market. They saw money grow fast and easy. To them, investing feels safe, maybe even fun. They might take risks others would avoid. Both people are looking at the same financial world, but they see it very differently. Morgan Housel reminds us, what seems crazy to you might make perfect sense to someone else. This is powerful because it teaches us something essential. Before we judge someone's financial decisions, we need to understand their story. Maybe they're not being foolish. Maybe they're just reacting to their past, to what money has meant in their life. So, the next time you wonder, why would someone buy that car they can't afford? Why did they invest in that risky business? Or, why won't they spend a dime even though they're rich? Pause and think. Their decisions might be shaped by fears, traumas, or even optimism that you've never experienced. Because, in the end, money isn't just math. It's a reflection of our memories, our values, and our emotions. Chapter number 2. The Power of Saving. Let me ask you something. When you think of a rich person, what do you imagine? A luxury car? A mansion? Fancy watches? First-class flights? Most of us do. But Morgan Housel wants to challenge that idea. He says being truly wealthy has nothing to do with what you show on the outside. In fact, the people driving the flashiest cars often have less actual wealth than someone quietly building savings, driving a used car, and living in a modest home. Here's the key lesson. Building wealth has little to do with your income or investment returns, and lots to do with your savings rate. Think about that. You don't need a high-paying job to start building wealth. You just need to spend less than you earn consistently. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine two friends, Ali and Bilal. Ali earns $200,000 a year, but he spends almost all of it on lifestyle upgrades, new phone, new car, big house, eating out every day. Bilal earns half of that, $100,000, but he saves 30% of it and invests wisely. 10 years later, who do you think has more freedom, more peace of mind, and more options in life? The answer isn't about who earns more. It's about who keeps more. Housel puts it beautifully. Wealth is what you don't see. That means the bank balance, the investments, the safety net. Those are the real signs of wealth, not the designer clothes or the Instagram-perfect vacations. Because here's the truth most people miss. Being rich is flashy, but being wealthy is silent. And the most underrated benefit of saving? Freedom. The freedom to say no to a job you hate. The freedom to take a break when life gets heavy. The freedom to help someone in need without fear. It's not just about money. It's about regaining control of your time and choices. So the next time you're tempted to buy something just to impress others, pause for a second and ask yourself, am I trading long-term freedom for short-term validation? Because in the long run, saving gives you something far more valuable than any purchase. It gives you power. The power to live life on your own terms. Chapter number 3. The Role of Luck and Risk. Now let's dive into one of the most powerful and, honestly, most uncomfortable truths about money and success. Luck and risk. Two words we don't talk about enough. But in reality, they shape our financial lives more than we'd like to admit. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen someone become wildly successful and thought, wow, they must be a genius? Or maybe the opposite, someone who failed miserably and you thought, they just didn't try hard enough. But here's the truth Morgan Housel teaches us. Success is never just hard work, and failure isn't always a lack of effort. Let's take an example straight from the book. Bill Gates. Bill Gates is brilliant, no question. But did you know he was one of the only teenagers in the entire United States who had access to a computer at his school in the 1970s? He didn't just work hard. He got lucky. Lucky to attend one of the rare schools with a computer. Lucky to get early exposure. Lucky to have teachers and mentors who encourage him. Meanwhile, there were probably thousands of equally smart, equally driven kids. But they never had the same opportunity. And that's the twist. While we celebrate Gates' success, we often ignore the role of chance in his story. Morgan Housel puts it beautifully. Be careful who you praise and who you judge. Why? Because for every Bill Gates, there might be a Kent Evans. Ever heard of him? Probably not. He was Gates' best friend in school, just as talented, just as ambitious. But he died in a mountaineering accident before adulthood. Same potential, different outcome. Not because of effort, but because of risk. Luck and risk are siblings. They are invisible forces that can make or break your journey, and neither one guarantees anything. So what's the takeaway here? Don't idolize success as if it's always earned. Don't shame failure as if it's always deserved. Instead, stay humble, be kind, recognize that your wins might have a lucky break behind them, and others' losses might just be bad luck, not bad character. It's a reminder to be grateful for the chances we get, and to never let arrogance cloud our judgment, because at the end of the day, money isn't just about skill. It's also about timing, environment, and things you can't control. Chapter number 4. Never enough. The danger of greed. Let me ask you something. How much money is enough? $1 million? 10 million? Maybe $1 billion? Now think about this. What if you had all of that and still felt like it wasn't enough? That's the trap Morgan Housel talks about in one of the most important chapters of The Psychology of Money. He writes, the hardest financial skill is getting the goalpost to stop moving. What does that mean? It means no matter how much you earn or achieve, there's always a temptation to want just a little more. More money, more fame, more luxury, more status. And before you know it, you're not working to build a better life. You're chasing something you can never catch. Example, the fall of Rajat Gupta and Bernie Madoff. Housel shares a shocking example. Rajat Gupta, a man born into poverty. He rose to become the CEO of McKinsey, sat on the board of Goldman Sachs, and was worth over $100 million. But it wasn't enough. He wanted to be a billionaire. So he got involved in insider trading and ended up in prison, losing his wealth, his reputation, everything. Now think about that. He risked everything for more. Another example, Bernie Madoff. He could have retired rich and respected. Instead, his endless greed turned him into the mastermind of the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. So why do we do this? Because we compare. We look around and see someone richer, someone more famous, someone with a bigger house or fancier car, and suddenly our success feels small. It's human nature to want growth. But when growth becomes greed, it stops serving you and starts controlling you. Morgan Housel explains, there is no reason to risk what you have and need for what you don't have and don't need. Let that sink in. The real skill? Learning to say this one powerful word. Enough, enough money, enough success, enough ambition. Because when you say enough, you're not giving up. You're protecting your peace. You're choosing freedom over pressure. And you're refusing to let greed steal the joy from what you already have. So next time you feel that urge to keep pushing, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself honestly, do I really need more or is this enough? Remember, true wealth isn't measured by how much you have, but by how content you are with what you've built. Because if you can master this lesson, you've already won the money game. Chapter number 5, the magic of compounding. Now, let's talk about something that feels almost like magic, but it's 100% real. It's the secret weapon of wealth, compound interest. You've probably heard the term before, but do you really understand just how powerful it is? Let's take an example. You've heard of Warren Buffett, right? One of the richest people on the planet. But here's a surprising fact. Warren Buffett made over 90% of his wealth after the age of 50. Wait, what? How is that possible? Because he started investing when he was just 10 years old, and he stayed consistent for more than 75 years. He didn't chase big, flashy returns. He let time and patience do the heavy lifting. This is what compounding is all about. It's not about making huge gains overnight. It's about steady, small gains that build on top of each other again and again and again. Imagine this. You invest just $1 today. If it earns 10% in a year, that's $1.10. Next year, you earn 10% on $1.10, not $1. So now you have $1.21, then $1.33, then $1.46. Over time, that little snowball grows into a mountain. But here's the catch. Compounding only works if you don't interrupt it. If you pull your money out early, panic during a crash, or constantly change strategies, you break the chain. And that's like planting a tree and then digging up every year to check if it's growing. Morgan Housel puts it beautifully. He says, good investing isn't about earning the highest returns. It's about earning pretty good returns for the longest period of time. Let that sink in. It's not about being a genius. It's not about timing the market. It's not about being lucky. It's about staying in the game, being patient, and letting time do its magic. So whether you're just starting with a small amount or you've already built up some savings, the best thing you can do is start now, stay consistent, don't stop, because in the world of money, time is your best friend, and compounding is a quiet engine that can take you further than you ever imagined. Chapter number 6. You're not alone. Let's pause and ask a serious question. Why do we let strangers influence our financial decisions? We scroll through social media and suddenly feel like we're behind. Someone just bought a luxury car. Another is posting beachside photos from a dream vacation. And we think, am I doing something wrong with my life? But here's the truth. Everyone is playing a different game. What Morgan Housel emphasizes in this chapter is deeply liberating. Your financial choices should reflect your values, your goals, and your lifestyle, not your neighbors, not Instagram's, not even society's expectations. Let's break that down. Imagine two people. Person A wants to retire at 40 and live a quiet, debt-free life in the mountains. Person B wants to climb the corporate ladder, buy a penthouse, and drive a Tesla. Now ask yourself, should they both manage money the same way? Of course not. Their dreams are different. Their timelines are different. Their risk tolerance is different. And so, their financial decisions should be different too. But here's the problem. We live in a noisy world, constantly flooded with comparisons. And without realizing it, we start making decisions that don't actually serve us. We buy things to impress people we don't even like. We invest in things we don't understand just because everyone else is doing it. We stretch ourselves financially just to match a lifestyle we see online. But Morgan reminds us, do what works for you, not what looks good to others. That line is pure gold, because money isn't a popularity contest. You don't get a prize for looking rich. The real prize is peace of mind. Waking up every morning knowing your money choices align with your life purpose. So if you value freedom more than luxury, save aggressively. If you want to travel the world, build a passive income stream. If you dream of being debt-free, don't chase status symbols. There's no one-size-fits-all in personal finance. And the more you tune out the noise and tune into what truly matters to you, the more confident, secure, and successful you'll feel about money. So ask yourself, what game am I playing? And who am I playing it for? Once you know the answer to that, you'll stop chasing other people's dreams and start building your own. Chapter number 7. Staying rich is harder than getting rich. Getting rich and staying rich. They sound like two sides of the same coin, right? But Morgan Housel makes one thing clear. They are completely different games. Let me explain. Getting rich often comes from taking risks, chasing opportunities, maybe even making bold bets. It's exciting. It's fast-paced. It's about growth and ambition. But staying rich? That's a different mindset altogether. It's not about being aggressive. It's about being defensive. It's about humility and a healthy dose of fear. Let me say that again. To stay rich, you need humility. The humility to admit that you're not invincible. And fear, the fear that things can and will go wrong. Because here's the hard truth. Most people don't lose their fortune because they didn't earn enough. They lose it because they assumed the good times would last forever. They got overconfident. They took bigger risks. They forgot that luck played a role, and that luck can run out. Think about some of the biggest financial crashes in history. The dot-com bubble, the 2008 recession, even crypto collapses. Many of those who lost everything weren't foolish. They were smart people, but they didn't prepare for the worst. They thought the market would always go up, and they bet everything on that belief. Morgan Housel warns us, the trick isn't getting rich, it's staying rich. And staying rich requires a mindset of survival, not show off. So, what does this mean for you? It means building a financial strategy that plans for bad days. It means saving like a pessimist and investing like an optimist. It means not upgrading your lifestyle every time your income increases. It means having an emergency fund, insurance, diversification, all the boring but powerful tools that protect you. And above all, it means knowing this. You can be wrong. The market can turn. Life can surprise you. So instead of saying, I've made it, I'm unstoppable, say, I've done well, but let's make sure I can hold on to it. That's real intelligence. That's real wealth. Because at the end of the day, wealth is not about how high you fly. It's about how well you land. Staying rich isn't luck. It's wisdom. Chapter number 8. Final thoughts. So, what does the psychology of money really teach us? Let's take a moment and think beyond numbers, beyond formulas, because this book isn't about how to get rich. It's about how to think about money in a way that actually makes you happy and free. First lesson, money decisions are emotional, not rational. We like to think we make decisions based on logic, but in reality, our financial choices are shaped by our childhood, our fears, our ego, and even what our neighbors post on Instagram. Why else would someone buy a luxury car on credit or sell their investments in panic during a market crash? Housel reminds us, understanding your own emotions around money is far more valuable than memorizing investment strategies. Second lesson, saving is more powerful than income. You can earn 6 figures a year and still be broke. You can earn modestly and still build wealth, because what you keep is more important than what you make. Think of saving as buy yourself options, flexibility, and most of all, peace of mind. It's not just about retiring rich. It's about sleeping well at night. Third lesson, luck and risk shape every outcome. Success isn't always about hard work, and failure isn't always about bad decisions. Bill Gates had the skill, yes, but also the luck of attending one of the only high schools in the country with computer. At the same time, brilliant people fail every day due to things beyond their control. So don't compare your journey to others. Don't judge. And most importantly, stay humble, because life isn't fair. But understanding this truth can make you wiser and kinder. Fourth lesson, compounding is pure magic. Let me ask you this. Would you rather have $1 million today or 1 rupee that doubles every day for a month? Spoiler, that single rupee turns into over 50 crores by day 30. That's the power of compounding. Growth that seems slow at first, but explodes over time. It's how Warren Buffett built his fortune. Not by being the smartest investor, but by being the most patient one. So start early, be consistent, and never underestimate the power of time. Fifth and final lesson, knowing when to say enough is true wealth. There will always be someone richer, flashier, more successful. But if you keep moving your goalpost, happiness will always be one step away. Morgan Housel writes, if expectations rise with results, there is no logic in striving for more. True wealth is freedom. The freedom to live life on your terms, to spend time with your loved ones, to do work that fulfills you, not just work that pays. That's the kind of rich money can't always buy. So let me ask you, what if financial success wasn't about mastering the stock market, but about mastering yourself? What if being wealthy wasn't about showing the world you've made it, but about reaching a place where you no longer have to prove anything? The psychology of money doesn't give you rules. It gives you perspective. And that, my friend, is more valuable than any investment tip. If you learned something new today, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs a mindset shift about money. Have you read The Psychology of Money? Let us know your favorite lesson in the comments below. Until next time, stay wise, stay wealthy,